Hi everyone, I want to walk you through what I expect on your transcript uh, assignment for your rough draft. So if you look at the assignment link, there is a file to download for doing your rough draft. Now what you'll notice is this is a grid. So what we're going to be doing for a script is we have to include what makes a script genre. So I've talked a little bit about genre analysis. Now in a script, we have to carefully time out what we're going to say. We also have to give information about what we're going to see, as well as any kind of things that are happening in the setting around what we're experiencing. So, if you look at the form that you're going to download for your assignment, the first thing that you can do is add your name. So, add my name, and then of course rough draft, TED Talk transcript template. So over here, what you'll notice is some of this will correspond to what you did for your storyboard. So of course in your storyboard, what you're going to have here is how much time it will take you to say what you're going to say. Under the script, what you're going to be adding is word for word everything you're going to say. So this isn't an outline, this is exactly as you would write your paper if this were a traditional paper. Over here underneath the visual and audio transitions, this is where you're going to include your image descriptions as well as your citations that you're going to put into your project. So what that will mean is that you have to kind of carefully write out exactly what you're going to say. So for example, your introduction should include the TED Talk that you're basing your research question on, the research question that you decided on, as well as kind of how your research has helped you to answer that research question. So this will be kind of a way to think about what you're going to do. So you can also give descriptions about what you're going to say. You can put your in-text citations here and here in your information. So for example, if I wanted to take the paragraph from my proposal, so I'm talking about Anne Curzon. So Anne Curzon gave TED Talk about language change and innovation. She studies the ways that we add new words to the English language. After watching her talk, I started to wonder about the organization she belongs to that specifically focus on words and language change. It is called the American Dialect Society. I wondered, and this is my research question, how does the American Dialect Society decide on new words? So I've got my research question. So what I might have to do then is I would have to time out how long it takes me to say that, to put in my timestamp here. Over here on my visuals and audio transitions, what I would have to do is give a description. So in my storyboard, in that storyboard that we discussed and created for information before, I know that my first picture is going to be the screen cap that I took of Anne Curzon's talk from the TED Talk website. So, image, Curzon's TED Talk. And then I know my in-text citation is going to be Curzon. So I'll put citation there. So I know I have two things that visually my viewer is going to see. So that what I would want to do is take a timer and time how long it will take me to say that. So you can find timers if you go into Google. Go into Google and Google timer. Okay, so I'm going to minimize that over my talk. So then we can do stopwatch. You can make that smaller so you can watch and read at the same time. So just like that. And then start. Anne Curzon gave a TED Talk about language change and innovation. She studies the ways that we add new words to the English language. After watching her talk, I started to wonder about the organization she belongs to that specifically focuses on words and language change. It is called the American Dialect Society. I wondered, how does the American Dialect Society decide on new words? All right, so in me talking, it was about 25 seconds. And what I'll notice is that over on my storyboard, I estimated about 30 seconds. So that's actually pretty good. So if your timestamps and your plan time don't match what you put into your final script, that's okay. Remember, this is just kind of an estimated amount of time. So I know I'm going to put in 0, 25. Now what you do for the next part is, again, if I want to go back over to my information, I enter to my project and Anne Curzon's talk as my lens text. I've already introduced my research question, so I can kind of talk about then what are the themes and the transition to my next theme in the next section. So just like you have in your storyboard, you want each of these sections here in your script, so whatever this line is, whatever this line is, it can correspond. So this actually makes it easier for you to kind of think about what needs to go on a new slide in PowerPoint, for example. So in PowerPoint, this would be a slide, this would be a slide, this would be a slide, this would be a slide. So you want to kind of think about separating them out because it gives you places to stop. So a lot of times students will try and record everything all the way through, but what will happen is then you can, instead of having to re-record things if you make a mistake, you have smaller chunks to work with. So again, then at the end of your script, make sure that you have your works cited. So this is both for all 7 of your sources. So you also want to include any images that you have. So just the works cited that you put at the end of your storyboard would be what you would carry over into your works cited over on your script as well. So remember, you have to have both your works cited with that full information about the source, and you have to have in-text citations that you're either going to say. So for example, I don't necessarily need to put the in-text citation Curzon because I mentioned Anne Curzon in the sentence, and it's a video, so we don't necessarily have a page number. So you just want to remember that. So if this had been a book or it had been a journal article, you would want to make sure to have the page number there for where the information came from. So just remember, each of these sections then become your script. You want to talk about what we'll see visually over here. So whatever you put into the boxes on your storyboard, that's what's going to be in that description space. That's what you should put there. So for example, my next transition is going to be a PowerPoint slide. So this is going to be image, PowerPoint, outline information. Right? And so when you're doing the PowerPoint, you can also put your in-text citations next to the thing that you're talking about. So Curzon, like that. So that would be something where you would have that as part of your description, and then you'll completely write out exactly what you're going to say in each of these boxes. So remember, complete sentences, complete organization that walks through your project and its themes.